Hannah Oli, Pop Rock Radio. Estás escuchando Jamie Roxx de Pop Rock Radio. Manténganse al tanto.
Hej, det här är Hits från Sverige och ni lyssnar till Pop Rock Radio med Jamie Roxx.
Hey everybody, welcome to the show. This is the Pop Roxx Radio Talk Show. I'm your host, pop art painter Jamie Roxx, and this is the big show. You found it. I'm glad you did. Hey, and for those who are listening and are like, yeah, the show's great listening audio-wise. It is, of course. But man, we get gussied up. We are over on YouTube as well. And we got a video side of this. We're trying to build that up. I was talking to my wife about that, and she was like, Jamie, how long did it take you to build up the audios? I'm like, a couple of years. And she's, get ready, because that's probably what it'll take for the video side too. And it's weird. I'm not complaining, but man, Courtney and I were talking about this earlier in email. YouTube, I can't say nothing. I don't have stock in YouTube. I subscribe to their service, but I can't show up to the shareholder meeting and complain when changes are made and whatnot. I'm not one of those cats, but it is, I really like when companies have a set way they do things, and I get things have to change every so often. But man, YouTube, it's every other week. New rules to learn and this and that. And I'm like, I'm an old man. I don't have that much time.
Yeah, right.
Anyway, we've got a returning guest today, and he's one of my favorite people in the show biz. The biz they call show. And he's an actor, but musician. And I wanted to get it, Mr. Courtney Gains of the Courtney Gains group.
Yes, sir.
His singing band.
Yeah.
And I wanted to ask you, because this was something I've been curious. I don't know if I've asked you before, but growing up, young Courtney, back in the day, were you into music before acting? Or
No, it kind of happened around the same time. I started taking professional acting classes at 13. I also started taking guitar lessons at 13. The difference was that, A, I knew I wanted to make my living as an actor, and B, the acting coach I had was somebody who was in the business and established and really helped me get started, a guy named Virgil Fry, Soleil Moon Fry, Punky Brewster's father. He's the one responsible for getting me in this business. And he was a manager for a number of years. I studied with him for 10 years. And so I had a better connection in terms of the movie industry than I did the music industry. But I was always in bands in LA, always had bands, was always doing stuff.
Is that where you were raised up, out west there?
Yeah, I grew up in, I grew up in the wrong side of the tracks of Los Angeles, not the Beverly Hills side, the side where, when I did the movie Colors, that I actually knew. That's why I said I had to have that role. And I heard there was a white guy in the gang. So I'm like, no actor I know knows this world better than me. And again, my mentor knew Dennis Hopper pretty well. He helped him make Easy Rider. So he made a call, took a meeting, 5 minutes of talking to me. They gave me the job because, like I said, they were having trouble.
Amazing.
Yeah.
That is amazing. And it doesn't surprise me. It's funny. Young people will ask me, they're like, I'm in a band or I want to do this or that. Do I need to move to New York or LA? And I tell people, the world's changed now. You can really pretty much be anywhere.
Yeah.
And send demo reels. But
that's
there,
to be, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Where bands got discovered, that's just not the scene there anymore.
Right. I remember the first time I ever went to LA. I had finished up school. I went to school in Boston. And then I said, I need to be where the action is, man. I need the opposite of Boston. At least weather-wise. So I looked at the map, and I said, San Diego looks pretty good. Never been. So I went to San Diego, and I was there for about a weekend, and I'm like, man, it is dull as donuts here. This is not the place. LA is 2-hour drive, so I was up in LA all the time.
Yeah, San Diego's nice, but yeah, it's not where it's popping. It's LA as well.
No. I called it Cincinnati with the beach. It's beautiful, but it's for a young buck wolfing around. That ain't the place.
You're right. And
I think they do that on purpose there with that town. Somebody had told me one time because of the Marine recruits graduating from the Marine Corps.
Yeah.
And they're like, we don't need the Marines tearing up every bar. So we keep it real low key. But anyway, when I was out there, I just quickly noticed LA was the place. But I had a point to this, and I can't remember. See, I'm getting old.
We're at that age. We start telling stories when we forget where they end.
What I was going to say is I thought L.A. was going to be Headbangers Ball. No, just limousines and rock stars, all the women. I showed, this is about 1997.
Oh, the
And I
metal
went
scene.
down, I went down to the Rainbow Room and all that, the Viper Room.
Yeah.
And I'm going, there's a guy on a stool singing folk songs with an acoustic guitar. Where's the headband? And everybody just kind of looked at me and said, Jim, you're 10 years too late.
Yeah, you missed
that
that
scene
one.
is gone, for the most part.
That's right.
And,
yeah, the 80s, man.
oh, yeah. And I remember one of them told me, one guy from some band from that era was some hair metal band. So he DJs at this other club down. And I'm like, DJing? What is that?
Yeah. Yeah, when the
But,
when the strip became a pay to play, and people
yeah,
now they have to pre-buy $400 worth of tickets, it became middle-aged men playing bands. Not there's Motley Crue, Guns N' Roses, Poison. Could they have afforded $400 worth of tickets? Hell no, they wouldn't have been able to. They were barely as it was. So it's killed. That was the end. That was the.
Can you imagine being young in a metal band like that, and then you bring the $400 tickets home to your girlfriend, who's actually probably the one who put the money up to buy them, in that conversation about magic beans?
It wouldn't even happen. They just couldn't do it.
No.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite jokes. What do you call what do you call a musician without his stripper girlfriend? Homeless.
Very true. That's how it was. Oh, it's very true. Probably is today too. I don't know. Probably. But we're both on the East Coast now. And you're in one of my favorite artsy fartsy towns, Savannah, Georgia. It's just cool. Now, did you have people in that neck of the woods, or did you just look at a map and?
No, how this happened was my girlfriend was an East Coaster. She was a school teacher in Brooklyn, and she took many vacations here. She kept trying to get me out when I was still on the West Coast. I was like, it's all the way over there. And finally, when she moved to LA, I'm taking you. And we came out here. I loved it. And a year later, we moved. And best decision I ever made. Came out here in 2018, right before the whole pandemic scene and all that. I got out of here just in the nick of time, and that really opened up the whole music scene. I didn't know at the time, but there's a very rich music scene in this town. A lot of really talented musicians, and there's opportunities to play because it's a tourist town. Southeast, there's just every bar's got a band, and you can play pretty regularly, and it gave me a great chance to just get out there and start having to play 3 45-minute sets a night, doing mostly covers. Just really gave me a chance to get my chops up, and then just been working on putting records together and putting them out, and now we're getting to the next big step. You'll hear a few of the things we're doing now, and EP, gonna put out an LP in August, so just releasing singles right now for that to drop that sucker.
Yeah, build it up.
Yeah, that's right.
It's cool. Being in a tourist town, I had a friend I made through the show many years ago. This is like 2013, 2014, something like that. And he had a gig. He lived in Massachusetts, but he had a gig, had a club, a bar where he was featured, a residency, as they call it now, if you will.
Those are good if you can get that.
Every other month or every 3 months or something. He would come down for a couple months and just play there. And he goes, yeah, it's great. He was telling me, we were BSing one day on the phone, and he said, I don't have to tour because everybody comes to me from all over. They're buying CDs and this and that and merch and stuff.
That's great. You can do that.
Yeah, I'm like, he goes, I come down, and then my wife and kids and everything are up north, and then I go home for a couple months, and then I'm back working. And I said, man, your relationship must be great. Getting a little break like that consistently. My wife, we're at the point where she's just, please come, have some adventures. We need new stories. I have heard every story too many times. You need some new material.
The older you get, the stories get. I always think of people when they get like 70, their life pares down to about 6 stories they just tell over and over again. I'm just like, I keep telling my girlfriend, when I get to that point, you just tell me every time I do. Go, I heard that story. I don't want to tell I don't want to tell the same 8 to 10 stories the rest of my life.
Yeah, but the thing is, Courtney, you've got good stories.
Yeah,
music,
more than 8 or 10. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, yeah. There's every so often I'll slip up and I'll tell a story to her, and knowing full I've never told it to her. And I'm like, this one's a little too racy. I don't need to be saying this story.
You got no ones not to tell too. There you go.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. It's not important. It's not on purpose, folks. I just slip up sometimes. We were watching a cop show on TV the other night, and this guy was hot wiring a car. Now, I grew up in Metro Detroit. I had lots of friends. Detroit was a rough town in those. I hear it's very nice now, but it was a rough town, and you pick a few things up. And so we're watching this, and the guy's cracking the steering. I'm like, why would you do that? That just devalues when you're trying to flip this car, chop top or whatever. It just devalues. All you need is a screwdriver. And I was mansplaining to her how to hotwire a car.
Yes.
And quickly. And she just was, let's look, the color drained from her face. And I realized, oh, that's right. You grew up in suburbia, upper class suburbia, and haven't had none of these experiences.
You didn't realize I was a carjacker in my youth.
Yeah. Like I said, I might have known one or two and just observed.
A couple guys, you know.
Yeah. It's crazy. It's crazy. But so you got into all of this at the same time and whatnot, kind of playing the craps table, which is gonna hit first. And
I really always had my eyes set on making a living as an actor, but my hobby was music, and I really like writing music. That's really been the joy for me musically. So it was always happening, but the acting career was paying the bills. But once I moved here, and I'm semi-retired as it were, I have an acting pension, I can do whatever the hell I want. And when the pandemic hit, like everybody else, I was like, wow, who knows how long it's going to last, or what haven't I done? And really the voice inside said, you still got to put your music out there. And I started doing the research, and I started realizing things are more accessible now. It's not like you don't have to go to a studio all the time or things like that.
Right.
In that way, they started becoming more affordable and more doable. And at the same time, I started being able to play gigs here quite a bit and make some money that way too. So it just kind of fell in place that music was the next thing. So like I said, I still act. I'm still working. Being out here on the East Coast has opened up the whole Southeast market. It's also opened up the whole New York market. New York's only an hour and a half flight. So I've gotten some really great jobs out of New York as well. I did a couple years ago, I did a video game for Rockstar. They wouldn't tell me what it was. I was having a great old time doing it. Turned out to be a 2-part online Grand Theft Auto, and I was like the third lead. I was like, holy shit, I'm in Grand Theft Auto? I had no idea. This is awesome.
That's cool. No, I know voice, because I have some friends that do voiceover work and whatnot. And I'm not trying to get personal. I'm just curious for my own knowledge.
Yeah.
I know voiceover work is, I think they're paid stock or something like that.
There's all kinds of stuff. People do stuff union up. So these Grand Theft Auto games and these video games, it's a little different. You have to do you have to do the acting in the bubble suits. Plus, Plus, they have a camera on you. When I did one for Rockstar years and years ago, that L.A. Noir, when they just started getting the technology together.
Commercials for that.
Yeah, you had to do. That was a great video game. You had to do the bubble suit separate and the facial recognition separate in a room with a zillion cameras around you. You need to do one line at a time. It was very arduous. Now they actually have a helmet on you with a camera mounted on your face, right at your face. It looks almost like a football helmet. So you're in the bubble suit and you're in that, so it's all happening at the same time. And it's really quite a bit of fun, actually. And they've got it down now. And really, the technology come a long way. But yeah, it came out great, and the character was great. I call it my ode to Dennis Hopper. His character named Lab Rat. He was making all the drugs. He was just like, yeah, man, I'm in my ketamine high right now, dude. It's just like
nice.
First read it, I'm like, this got Dennis Hopper all over it. So I just played ode to Dennis Hopper and had a blast. But I had no idea it was such a big game. There's just opportunities on the East Coast now. So I still have the West Coast available, but I also have the Southeast, the Atlanta market, and now I've got the East Coast. So it's actually opened up more possibilities. So it was a good move for me.
Absolutely. I had a guest on a few years back, and he was an indie filmmaker. He was talking. He explained to me the difference of filming in L.A. versus the Southeast market. And he goes, I was doing a shot on a thing I was working on, and this is him talking. I'm not in that world, but he was telling me. He said there was a guy mowing the grass a couple doors down, and he kept. This little, he goes, you know how LA lawns are. There's 3 swipes with the mower and you're done. He goes, this guy was out there for 45 minutes, just mowing the same thing.
Waiting for
me to come down to get paid to stop.
Yep.
He goes, and in the Southeast, we filmed in this little town, and craft services was at this diner because it was the only restaurant in the town. They wanted to do it all for free just because they were excited something like that was happening.
Right. Oh, yeah, totally.
But it was one of those, the old 30s gangsters, how they leave the money under the plate type deal. He's like, that's how they got paid, but they were all nice to us.
There's quite a bit of shooting that gets done here in Savannah too, because if you want to shoot a period piece or something like that, this is a great town to do it in.
Perfect.
And they also
Yeah.
give a city a center tax. They have the Georgia state tax plus another 10% city tax. So if you can
Nice.
figure out how to do a movie here, you can get probably the best incentive in town. It's funny though, I've yet to book a job here. I've gotten close many times, had a few things fall
You
through.
gotta fly.
But I've had several friends of mine come to work here from wherever they are in Texas or LA, and I'm like, I'm here and I can't get a job, but you guys are flying in. This is crazy. But yeah, there's definitely stuff that happens here because the downtown.
Just how it goes.
People don't know Savannah. It's the downtown looks like it's out of the 17 and 1800s. You throw some dirt down and put people in costume, and you've just transformed yourself back in time instantly.
Yeah.
It's for people who doing that kind of like want to do a
That's way
western.
cheaper than building a set. You know.
Yeah, they're the best sets money can buy, literally. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
When I first came out to the East Coast here, I was Southern California, LA, Vegas, and stuff. I'm my whole client base was usually hanging out in nightclubs. That's how I was selling paintings. I was meeting people, and they were like, "Hey, can you do this?"
Nice.
And so I moved down here, and everybody was like, "What are you going to do? Hang out at the clubs in Miami?" And I'm like, "No, I don't." She wasn't a wife then, but I'm like, "I got a girl now." That's how you lose a girl, hanging out in nightclubs. Old enough to have learned that lesson. But one of the markets that really surprised me that I never thought about, and it makes sense, was the country Nashville market. I have painted more country paintings, and people are surprised at that. They're like, "Cool, Mr. Cool Jamie Roxx?" I'm like, "Hey, man, whatever. I don't care what the check's from as long as it cashes."
They're paying,
And,
right? Yeah.
yeah, so then I'd have to go to Nashville, and when I get there, I could smell money, literally. I'm looking at the horizon, there's cranes building, and I'm like, ooh, this is a money town. There is money to be made here.
Yeah.
And there certainly is. But you just never know. We all have these preconceptions of things.
Correct.
I like the Southeast. I like the people. People's nice. You know what I mean?
Obviously, it's much more laid back than LA, and the traffic's not. Yeah, when people say they're late because they were in traffic here, I just laugh. I'm like, you don't even know what traffic is.
No,
I mean,
yeah, you don't. You really don't. Oh man.
Yeah, I don't
date a
that
girl.
LA traffic. The only thing I miss in LA is the mountain view and good Mexican food. People here are always like, "Oh, I know a good Mexican place." I'm like, "Yeah, no, you don't. You don't know good Mexican food."
No.
But there's a lot of great food in Savannah. But don't try to tell me, a kid from Los Angeles, where the good Mexican food is, because it's
all
on a whole nother
Cuban.
level in LA, man. Whole nother level.
Yeah, it's the same here. It's the same. My wife, it's so funny. I used to date this girl when up in my LA days, and she was cool. She had one of those converted lofts where they just said, "We can't rent this out. Let's just put a bed in here, install a shower, and get lots of money." And I would look out her window, and it was the 101, and it wasn't but I would watch traffic jams I would just sit there and watch the traffic jam on the fire escape.
Oh my God.
Barely crawling past her place.
Yeah. Every time I go back there to work, I just curse the gods and say, "This is why I left. This is why I left. Yeah. I hate this."
And it's weird because it's 6-lane highways and stuff. You would think.
The 405 is the worst highway in the world, literally. It's awful.
But there's some good ones. I used to like taking the 15 up to Vegas and stuff.
Yeah, that's not bad. Once you get off the 5 out there, then it gets decent. But yeah. But the 15 needs to make it a bigger highway now, because now there's so many people that go there. When you go to leave, it's jammed up. But I'm sure they're doing.
I can't remember which freeway it was, but if you ever had a gig up north, San Francisco area or something, and you right around Fresno, there was I swear it was the world's largest dairy farm.
Yeah.
You're driving along and you're like,
and all of a sudden it just smells like death. Yes.
You're like, roll the window and you look. They're already rolled up.
Yeah, and just cows as far as the eye can see. Yep.
It's crazy.
I made that trip up to San Francisco many times. I used to teach acting as well, and we had a lot of people we trained up in San Francisco that came down and they're doing pretty good as actors nowadays.
It's cool. It's cool that I'm really glad to hear the band's doing great. You know what I mean? And I look on your and folks, we have links in the description here. We're going to play some music here in a second, I promise.
Right.
We're just catching up a little bit. But I was looking at your Courtney Gains group over on Facebook.
Yeah.
And man, I'm looking at the pictures and stuff and all this. So there's all this stuff over here. and you're playing some nice venues and stuff. I'm
Yeah,
like,
it's getting there. We're getting there. We're getting
man,
from
I think you're
the
doing
bar
great.
level to now starting to get to some festival levels and like that, and got some good stuff coming up at the end of the year. So yeah, so we're getting there, and that's why we're also building the record right now. Is obviously you get some airplay that's going to help you get some gigs. So we're in this whole process of taking it to the next level right now. But it was
No,
I needed those few years of just gigging here and getting my chops together too. To see we're ready for the next
right.
stage. So it's a process. People want things to happen overnight, but I can certainly apply all the things I learned in LA in terms of an acting career to this career. And you just got to grind every day, man, and get a little bit better every day and move that stone a little bit every day. And then eventually something pops. That doesn't happen overnight usually.
And the cool thing is you're putting it together yourself. You know what I mean? You're the one booking venues and stuff like that. And
I gotta say my girlfriend's the key to all of that. She's the
oh,
one.
is she the
Yeah, without her, I wouldn't be able to find a gig, to be honest.
nice?
My girlfriend's she's a manager. She works with my manager, Chris Rowe, and so she's good at hustling gigs. That's what she does. So when she just got behind me here and just started just finding every venue in town and hitting them up. And yeah, I'm not good at that stuff. I've always had representation. I've always needed representation. I'm the artist. I'm not good at talking about myself. I just want to do my thing. But I need someone to believe in me that goes and puts the word out. That makes a huge difference. But now I've got agents and things too. So it's all, I got local stuff and I got national stuff. So I got both sides working now.
But the cool thing is you've been through the gauntlet before, so you know. I imagine your bullshit detector is finally honed. You know
I'll
what I
tell
mean?
you though, the music business it's even worse than the film business. There's a lot, I've heard that before, but now that I'm getting more and more into it, there's a lot of gray area where stuff's not quite illegal, but it's a little shady. You know, there's a lot of that.
I've heard so many stories.
Yeah, in the music business. So you have to learn. You have to learn as you go, and you just have to work with people and see who you can and who you can't trust. That's what it comes down to.
Yeah. I was just talking to somebody, I don't know, a couple weeks ago, and they're like, oh, yeah, they tried to come in with a merch. They wanted part of the merch. And I'm like,
even the big venues now, they want part of the merch now. That's because merch is the only way the artists really, on a big level now, they make money. No one's making money selling records anymore. There's no physical copies, so no one's making money. So it's all the touring, and then the main thing is the merch, and then now the venues, we want some of that too then. I'm like, they were already getting killed, and now you want the merch too. It's just,
yeah.
The business is brutal.
Are you going to bring in people to sell the merch, said merch? Or are you going to set up the kick in for the booth and all this and that?
But it is kind of sad that
pay for that.
The gigs are coming down to now selling merch. That's like the driving force is to get the people there, to entertain them. So at the end of the show, they go buy your merch. I don't know. That's just where we're at today, though. It's just where we're at. But I don't love that idea. I don't even have any merch yet, but I'm going to have to get some soon.
I'm telling you, Courtney, I'm the only painter I know. And I don't do a lot of gallery gigs because I don't like giving away half my money. But I do the occasional one.
There you go. Same concept.
And I learned it from you, my musician friends, from you guys. Every show I do, and we're talking paintings, art shows, I have a merch table. You know what I mean? Nobody else does.
That's pretty.
And I'm like, I said, it's great. It's great when you see $1,000 sold painting walking out of the place. But you know what? I'll take $5 $20 t-shirts happily. Sure. You know?
Yeah,
that's a light bill.
Exactly. All day long. It all adds up.
Plus, if you found the money in the street, you pick it up.
You got somebody walking around advertising your product. They're wearing your shirt. So it's a win-win.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's so cool because a lot of people. Oh, before I ask this, let me ask you this, because I'm curious. You probably have music fans, people that come see the shows and whatnot, that do maybe not realize some of the cool movies and stuff you were at. You know what I mean? They don't even know about that.
Well, it's funny, a lot of these gigs in Savannah, they'll be sitting there having dinner or drinking or whatever, and then somebody will take a double take, and then they'll get on their phone and they'll figure it out. But they're not. A lot of times people don't have a clue, which is great. They're just listening to the music. It's not about that. But then some people will figure it out, and then they'll come up at the breaks and we'll talk or whatever. But yeah, there's so many big actors that do come here to do movies and things that they're not looking for me. So I have a lot of anonymity here, which is great. But I would say I get recognized more in LA than I do here, which is nice, actually.
Well, the interesting thing about you on the movie side, and folks, we're going to get to the music, I promise. I just an observation. the movies you chose that you have been in are iconic movies. It wasn't, you, yeah, being in Hell Comes to Frogtown would probably have been fun. You know what I mean? I would have liked to have seen that, but it ain't Colors. It ain't Children of the Corn.
Yeah,
It
to
ain't
really.
that. These movies, all those movies you've been in, still get played today. There's kids on YouTube doing reaction videos to them. You know,
Yeah, I
and
mean,
it's
I had a really good '80s run in teen cinema. When teen cinema was blowing up, I was at the right place at the right time and had a really good run. And the only smart decision I made wasn't like I auditioned and just tried to get every job I could get. It wasn't like I was like, oh, I have 6 scripts to read and I'll choose one. It wasn't like that.
sitting by
But
the pool
right, I'm
with
not that
your fingers.
guy, you know. But I was the one thing I did because of the success of Children of the Corn. I was smart enough to go. I can't keep playing that guy. So I need to.
Right.
So I made a real choice not to play the same character twice in my '80s run, and what I ended up getting out of that was a body of work. I had genres, success in many genres, and many showing people I could do comedy, I could do drama, I could do horror. So that really
Hell of
helped.
a demo reel.
Yeah, it helped my transition into being an adult actor. I had a resume that showed that I had diversity. And then, I made my transition and I started doing a lot of guest stars. And after that, and that was like a lot of my 90s run was just working in television, doing a lot of guest stars. And then you just keep evolving. You have to see where's the business at now? Where are you at now? And what's the marketing that's going to work for now? And if you can play those roles, you can get those roles. During the pandemic, I started growing out a big beard because I knew the right wing conspiracy role was going to come. It was just like, there's no.
Absolutely.
And then I got a movie called Wrath of Becky. I don't know if you've seen that, but it's a pretty darn good film, and it was a really good role. But I just knew, grow the beard, and the role will come. You just look at yourself, you look at the market, and try to kind of anticipate where it's going to go, and then hopefully show up and get something in that way. And yeah, if you can do that, you can keep adjusting. You think you can keep working.
Absolutely.
Now I'm the old guy.
It's always mirrored society. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, with the beard. I was surprised you weren't in that Civil War movie. You know what I mean?
I've been in a few Civil War movies for sure, and I would love period piece stuff. I love westerns. I love Civil War. And I did a good. I didn't have a beard quite as big, but I did a really good. One of the last things I did in LA came out in 2016 was a show, History Channel thing, a 6-part thing called Texas Rising that we shot down in Mexico. Okay. That thing was epic. That was amazing.
Nice.
Part of.
I love those kind of shows. You know, I really do. It's funny because my wife will bug me. She'll you watch all these spacey Star Trek stuff. I'm like, yeah, but I also watch Hell on Wheels and stuff like it. I was a huge. People are like, on HBO, what'd you like? I'm like, I was a big Boardwalk Empire guy.
That was a great show. That was a great show. I would have loved to have done something on that show. That was a great show.
And I thought I was learning Spanish watching all the Narcos. I just found them fascinating. I found the character. And then you find out as you're watching this, you're like, that couldn't have been true. He built a prison just in case he got locked up so he could. And then you look it up and you start Googling and you're like, yeah, he did. I'm like, that's pretty smart.
When you have those level of resources in a third world country, you can sway a lot of decision making.
Absolutely. I remember there was a scene in that where, because they've been burying money everywhere, and he was on the run, and he got a shovel and was digging up his yard, and there was a pallet of cash that they had buried, and water had seeped in the garbage bags and just ate it all. It was something like $12 million. Something crazy. And it's got the actor's face who was playing. I'm like, yeah, I bet that's probably close to what happened. I mean,
wow.
I haven't had days like that.
No.
But I felt the pang of disappointment, maybe not to that level.
The pangs of disappointment, yes.
So music.
Yeah.
Your music's fantastic. One of the things, let's play a track to start with, and then people will know. We've got 3 tracks to play. We've got Been Forgotten, Fear the Boogie, and Wander and Dream. What should we hear people with first?
Why don't we play Wander and Dream first? That'd be fun. So that was charting right now at number 52 on the secondary rock market, the SMR rock market.
Nice.
So it's a bit of a bang, bit of an epic song. It's going to be the opener on my record.
Nice. Here it is, folks. This is the Courtney Gang group, and Courtney Gains is a guest today. Here it is, Wander and Dream. Check this out.
explore, wander and dream. Explore, wander and dream. In the end, I'm not sure what it means. 40 years gone on by, just like they said in a blink of an eye. So much harder than it seems, trying to live out your dreams, yeah. Trying to live out your dreams. Oh, it seems like yesterday, or is it a million miles away? Been so long I lost the score, forgot what I was fighting for, yeah. Forgot what the hell I was fighting for. I'm being burned by my so-called friends. Been down and out, I'm on my feet again. They say you can't keep a good man down, so I guess I'll be seeing you around. Oh, my time's coming I've been burned by my so-called friends. Been down and out, I'm on my feet again. They say you can't keep a good one down, so I guess I'll be seeing you around. I've been burned by my so-called friends. Been down and out, on my feet again. They say you can't keep a good one down. You better hope I don't see you around. Better hope I don't see you around. Wandering dream.
And we're back, folks. We're back. Courtney did not lie. And I agree with them. That is a fantastic track, a banger. We were so transfixed watching that and listening to it that we didn't even move positions. It's like we were frozen in place. It's, you know,
It's a
the
good
magic
song.
of-
It's a good song. I'm proud of it. Like I said, it's going to be the opener to the new record, which is going to be called Liberation. And that's going to be the closing song. But it's I co-wrote that with the guy who helped me produce the record. His name's Walpy Che, and he was a musician with me here in LA and Savannah for a year. Now he lives in Atlanta, but he's a really just an amazing guitar player. But he wrote the song, I wrote the lyrics, and it just was one of those things out of the subconscious that kind of just it was reflecting on, it was the 40th anniversary of Children of the Corn, and just kind of reflecting on my 40 years in the business and all the times making movies where some other producer burned me or whatever. That just all the reflections of all the pains of working in LA and your friends who burn you for $1.50.
Those are fun lessons to learn, ain't they?
Yeah, hard lessons indeed. But it just kind of all that angst came out, and I put it in that song.
Absolutely. I can't talk to you. I'm sure I didn't have it nearly the level you did, but I remember I had put a bunch of paintings in this real high-end Pinky Out in La Jolla, California hair salon. Everybody had a list, but
Money in La Jolla. That's for sure.
And I figured we'd sell some expensive paintings. Didn't sell any. So I'm like, I better go over and check on those paintings, maybe pick them up, put them somewhere else. And I show up, and the place is empty.
Oh,
there wasn't a comb in that place.
Oh my God!
Who knows where the owner went?
And your paintings went them, I take it, yeah.
Yeah, I heard he was back east somewhere. And then somebody, this was maybe 15 years later, I get an email from somebody, and they're like, "Hey, can I get a certificate of authenticity? I bought this at a swap meet, a flea market." Like, so that's that's a good thing to hear. Oh, you paid money for it. I can't complain.
Yeah.
I don't want to know. Don't tell me how much you paid for it.
Right.
I don't know if I can handle that.
Oh.
I could have been a jerk. I just sent the guy. I'm like, yeah, give me your address. I'll send you what it is so I know what the title is. And
wow, that's pretty interesting.
Figure I'm paying off karma. I probably snubbed somebody or did somebody wrong or left some gal or something. I do. But yeah, I'm curious about the time frame, because you're used to, when you got back into music and whatnot, people don't realize this, and I didn't realize this before doing the show, talking to actors and whatnot, thespians, if you will. Sometimes you shoot your scenes in a movie or whatnot, and I thought next week it would come out and we could all no. It could be years,
Yeah, especially independent films. You never know how long it's going to take for them to find this.
Yeah,
some never come out.
Clear. Yeah, now with music, when you're creating as an artist, you have the concept and then you make this, and music's not just easy either. And it's involved. Mastering, there's whole levels that the public has no idea about before you hear a song on the radio.
Every process is different, and you never know from when you start how long it's going to take. This has been a reasonably good turnaround. I did all the recording last year, at the end of last year. Then we took a little break, and then we got into the mixing, and we're like about halfway through with the mix right now, and then masterings after that, which should be pretty quick. But then what you really have to deal with, whether it be the film industry or the music industry, making a product is one thing and can be difficult, or raising money to make a product and then making it. But the real mother of all mothers is the distribution. Where are you getting it out there? And the better level you can get it out there, the better exposure you're going to get. As a producer, I've had movies get crappy distribution and go nowhere. I've had other ones that maybe weren't as good a film but got better distribution and they got better legs. So that's a whole thing too, trying to get someone to take your record or take your movie and get it out there. And they have, of course, their own agendas about what they think is good or not good, or what's going to make them money or not make them money. And distribution can be quite a shady, talk about shady businesses. They always, you could be Warner Brothers and have the biggest hit on your hands, and they're telling you how it lost money because they just cooked the books. It's like, that's what
need those tax breaks.
Yeah, they're always like, the movie did really well, but we had to spend so much money to get it out there. Sorry, we still don't have any. I think the director of Children of the Corn, Fritz Kirsch, which was a low budget film, and no doubt it's made money over the years. He didn't finally see any real income from it. They had points in the movie till just recently. So that was like 40 years and going to court for a couple of years to actually ever see a dime on the back end of that movie. And that tells you right there how the business is.
Absolutely. It's crazy. I've never had any experience on that side. When I first moved to Southern California, you make friends and stuff, and everybody's doing something. That's the crazy thing about California. You can't be lazy because everybody is doing something. And if you're not doing anything, people start looking down their glasses at you.
And if you work at a job, you're still really trying to do something else. If you're a waiter, you're really or a writer or a producer or waiting for a break. So there's no one ever really, there's nobody ever doing any menial labor there this intends to do it any longer than they have to. It's a funny town. Everybody's a hyphenate of some kind there.
Oh, it's crazy. But this was before like Kickstarter and stuff. And my friends were trying to do stuff. So I'm like, how we did it in Detroit, you'd have a party and charge a cover.
You do it in Detroit is you steal a couple cars. No.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe some organs. And we'd have these, I'd donate paintings and they'd raffle them off and
throw parties.
You know, that would get the final scene made.
That's cool.
But it's, yeah, you do it and hopefully your friends will support, and they do. But that's how it was done back when I first got out there. But man, then you start talking to real movie people like yourself, not people talking about wanting to shoot in the backyard, but people doing it. And you realize, holy shit, this guy had to make $10 million. You get $10 million in a can. That's not the easiest thing to do, I would imagine.
And if you're making a studio picture, they're spending lots and lots of money to make the movie, and then they're also spending lots and lots of money on the prints and advertising, as it were, to get the movie out. And again, I feel like the film industry is kind of now in the same boat that the music industry went in when they could stop selling, CDs. That was the moneymaker. Selling records, selling CDs. Now they can't. It's so no one's making money selling records anymore. And now the film industry is streaming. The same thing's happening. People aren't going to theaters. And during that last actor strike, a lot of people were talking about their residual income that they would get from something playing on TV versus something streaming. But I had no real evidence myself. But recently I do. The movie I did, The Burbs, that always played on television pretty regularly, and I always got decent.
TNT classic, The Burbs.
Right. I would get residual income from it. That was it was okay. And recently they did a reboot of The Burbs. I don't know if you know that. I
saw it advertised. I didn't see it.
Yeah. And so I've only seen a little bit of myself, but they've gone to a season 2, so I guess it's doing okay. But because it's on their streaming service, so they decided to put the movie The Burbs on the streaming service as well. And my residual income on those now is probably 25% of what it was. So it's on there and it's showing, but because they cooked the books, right? It's their platform. They can say, oh, we only showed it 3 times or whatever they do. The residual income isn't the same as if it was playing on a cable network or a prime network. So streaming is becoming the kiss of death for actors too. Residual income was a good portion of how I survived when it was slow times. You never know when you have your next job. Sometimes you go 6 months without a job or whatever. It was that residual income coming in from a check from Back to the Future or whatever that would pay the rent that month while you're waiting for that next gig. Now, I feel really bad for these actors coming up. I don't see how they're not going to have a job too. And I think a lot of people will eventually leave the business if they can't make a living, and that means the talent pool is going to even be less. And they're hiring people locally a lot more now too. So I just think the talent pool of supporting actors is going to get worse and worse. That's what I think. Because they're not going to be able to survive. I mean, LA is so expensive to live now, and their work after this last acting strike, the Atlanta and LA, the work has been cut in half. The big streaming companies, Netflix and those guys, they decided to start making movies overseas during the strike. And now they're like, hey, we can do this a lot cheaper. Why don't we just keep doing this? So half of their productions now are all being shot overseas, and the film industry is hurting.
Because he's right, folks. He's right. If you've watched any of those spy or superhero movies or anything like that, you notice they're all set in Macau for some reason. There's some town in China or something. You know what I mean?
Or Russia, or
somewhere. Yeah, it ain't Dubuque, Iowa. You know what I mean?
So it's an interesting time. I sit back now and I'm grateful I had the age I was when I started making movies. The movies were still shot on 35 millimeter film.
Yeah.
And things we're going to go to a theater no matter what. And they go to DVD and go to VHS back then. But you knew you were going to get some kind of theatrical release, and those were good and fun times. But now it's just so much oversaturation. And the other thing is, you can make them, like anybody can make a movie now. You can make a movie on your phone. So there's a lot of people making movies really super cheap too now, but they don't know the protocols of how to run a set and things. So I've gotten caught up in a fair amount of those the last few years too. Which I'm just that old crotchety dude who's, when I walk on a set, I expect people to stop fucking talking so I can do my job. Do you understand? I'm just trying to do this is my fucking job. This isn't my social hour. This isn't my shit for fun.
And the producer is crying tears of joy, going, "Finally, somebody gets it.
It's
We're
just,
paying for this."
but a lot of times, but I'm telling you, a lot of these things now, you can really make a movie cheap. People are making movie from GoFundMe's and things. So like even so I have a movie coming out. I have a movie premiering in Pittsburgh on May 23rd called The Barn 3. The first two were super low budget. So this one's got a little bit more budget, but still not a lot. But they did most of the it was done through crowdfunding. And then what the obligation is for me at that point is part of the way they sell the crowdfunding is like, you're going to sign X amount of things that people are going to get, the swag. So now you got to do all this signing of like DVDs and posters and blah, 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 which is just more work for me ultimately, but it's how they raise their money. So there's a whole like, it used to be the B genre. Now I feel like there's a whole nother subculture D genre out there and now a lot of the companies that are acquiring stuff are really getting into acquiring these lower, but because you can make them cheap now, man. You can buy your own cameras and a lighting package, and you can really do things the market continues to change, and there's just people are making product everywhere. But a lot of times they never went to LA they never did PA, they never did anything to learn to pay their dues, how it runs on a set. I come to people, I'm like, you realize, like, you're the AD on a show, which is like you're the assistant director making it happen. And they're sitting down. I said, if you went to LA and you sat down as an AD, you'd be fired the first 5 minutes on set. They're like, really? I'm like, yeah, you can't sit. You can't sit ever. The rite of passage is that your knees blow out. That's the rite of passage to being a PA and an AD. And they're like, what? I'm like, yeah, that's the rite of passage in the Hollywood is that you stand so many hours, your knees blow out.
And you go home and cry. And then you get up and you do it again. You know what I mean?
They're looking at me like I'm crazy, but I get in a way I am. I'm that old crotchety dude going, this is how it's supposed to be done, kids.
I'm the same way in my little world, the little art world. It's the same thing. These people, the youngsters, and I know I sound like an old man, but like you're saying, an old crotchety. But yeah, there's things. Everybody always tells me, they're like, I want to do what you're doing, Jamie. Just sit around and paint all. I'm like, yeah, I want to do that too. But the difference is I have 25 years ahead of you on that.
Making a reputation, building your name. Yep.
Yeah. And there's been people like, well, you don't have a straight job. I'm like, yeah, I carried plenty of trays. I've worn black and whites. You do what you got to do to live so you can do what you want to. But music's the same way. You'll meet youngsters.
Tough business. People say they want, what they aren't really is committed. Committed is a whole nother level, and committed is a grind, and it's not easy. If it was easy, everybody would be doing it. But back to that movie, though, Barn 3, real quick, since we were talking about those. So it's been getting in some really amazing festivals. It just got in Fright Fest in the UK, which is a big one. Nice. And it just got in Sitges Film Festival in Spain, which is the biggest sci-fi horror festival in Europe.
That opens up new markets for you. You know what?
Those are just really great places to be seen. It's going to help them with their distribution that they have these festivals. But I went to Sitges a few years ago for the 40th anniversary of Children of the Corn, and it's a really big festival. So I was really excited that the movie got in there. So I haven't seen it yet.
I imagine they want you in there, because you're like headliner. You see the flyers for them. You
just never know when you make a project if it's going to be any good or not, though. You have no way of knowing. All you can do is control your job. The rest is out of your hands. But so the fact that this thing's starting to get in some really good horror sci-fi festivals gives me hope that it might find a good distribution deal and get out there. We shall see. And I have a movie.
Let's play the track.
We might as well actually go into the next song. So the next song, I have a movie. I have this metal song called Fear the Boogie. That actually, I'll give a little backstory before two things. So one is there's a character in the trilogy that the director plays. It's called the Boogeyman. So that was in the back of my head. But also, when I was in Spain, in Sitges, when we were screening the film, the guy that was hosting it came out and he said, hey, man, I got to tell you something. He goes, when I was a kid, you were it. You were the Boogeyman in Barcelona. He goes, we used to pass around this VHS tape of you, and you were literally known as the Boogeyman of Barcelona. And I was like, that's incredible. And I filed that away. And I think that's in the subconscious where I came up with this song, Fear the Boogie. So look, we got a
the
video.
video's
On this one,
fantastic.
right? We got a video on this one. Me and Walt.
Absolutely. And you guys are in a cemetery somewhere. Now, is that a local Savannah cemetery?
Yeah, well,
or?
he shot at one in Atlanta that's famous, and I shot at a world famous cemetery called Bonaventure Cemetery. It's amazing. If you ever come to Savannah, got to go to Bonaventure. It's incredible.
That sounds like a cemetery vampires would hang out at. No, it's got that elegance to
Certainly do it. Yeah, you can certainly shoot a movie with vampires and they're not blink twice. Yeah, it's got that vibe.
Nice, nice. Here it is, folks. Check this out. This is the Boogeyman, right?
Fear the Boogie.
Fear the Boogie. There it is. Here it is. We didn't lie, folks. That's an awesome video. That's
It's a
an
banger.
awesome video.
It's a banger.
I'm telling
I
you.
I feel that lead that Wall plays in it is just fantastic. The way he stitches the lead together from one piece to down to another, and then back up to another. I think he's just very talented. He wrote that song. He wrote me a bunch of metal songs. He's got a drop down D guitar, and when I heard that one, I said, I think this is the one I could do something with. And then, like I said, I just finished shooting that movie, and Fear the Boogie just came out, and it's going to be title tracks at the end of the movie, which is the prime spot, and one other place. So I'm looking forward to when we see the screening. It's always a thrill for me when I see one of my songs in a movie. So I'm excited.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And there's so many metal songs that I hear, and I'm like, okay, that music, you're either robbing a bank, you're running from a psycho killer, or you're having a real good time with a gal. It just lends itself to that.
And some of the clips in the video were from the previous Barn Threes. That was one of our agreements. We'll give you the movie, you give you the song, you cut a video together, and let us use some of your footage from the film. And so they did that for us, which was awesome.
When I was in San Diego, and Jamie Roxx had just hit, or whatever that means. One of my first cool gigs I got is the San Diego Film Festival. They said, hey, we're honoring some celebrities. We would like you to paint them. And
cool.
In lieu of pay, we'll give you passes to all the parties and all this kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. And like, wow, this is a way to jazz up my website a lot. And it was cool. I met Joan Collins, and it was cool meeting these people. And I think I bugged her about her Star Trek episode. Like, how is this weirdo?
Yeah.
But
sci-fi fans and horror fans, they're the most dedicated.
Yeah, I'm telling you. But one of the things is the first night, because I think it was 4 days and nights. But after the first one, I went home and I started calling every musician I know. And I'm like, you got to get down to the San Diego. Stop by Kinko's was still a thing in those days.
Yeah.
And I said, spend the $30, get you 1,000 business cards, and give them to everyone at the film festival. Never seen a movie without
Correct.
Since 1918 or something, with no sound. Every movie has music in it. You need to be pressing palms and meeting people, networking.
Yeah, nowadays, getting a song and a soundtrack or a TV score, it can change a career. It's not easy to get. It's very, very competitive business trying to get your stuff in a soundtrack. But that's certainly my hopes. And every time I have a chance, if it's a movie I'm in, I don't force anybody to put one of my songs in their movie. Some people do, but I don't want them to put something. If they don't want it, don't use it. But I'm like,
right, but it's there if they do.
Hey, I wrote this song. We got a rough track of it right now. Check it out. See if you like it. Justin Seaman, the director, was like, I love this. I said, all right, we'll flesh it out and we'll get it down to you. I just put it out there. I'm like, hey, I do music. I can write something specific if I need to. I want to take a shot. And if you get something in, cool.
And for those at home, take notes. That's a very good lesson he just told you. Because there's a little alt goth band that I liked. I think they're out of Texas or maybe Portland, Oregon. They're weird enough to be from Portland, Oregon. And called the Hanson Family. And they make these weird songs. And they got it. Somebody heard it. And they got that True Detective show.
Yeah, that song. Massive.
That song.
Yeah.
And I had been hearing that song for 10 years before that, because I like the music. But I was reading a post they had made, and they're like, that changed everything.
Yeah, of course. That kind of
getting mortgages wasn't a problem now.
Right.
No, we had a down payment.
That kind of exposure. Much less they'll pay you for the song, but the exposure is just insane. Yeah, if you have a hit, millions of eyeballs see it all of a sudden, and they're all like, "What's?"
Yeah, you get into other.
Check that band out, and boom! All of a sudden, you're in demand.
Yeah, I was so happy for them. I'm like these because I knew they've been doing it. They've been doing the grind for 15, 20 years or something, and then they had their good day, that ray of sunshine, and you just feel happy for people. I do,
Sure, that's why it's always 20 years of overnight success, 30 years overnight success. That's how it works.
Exactly. Yeah. People outside the biz have no idea how long overnight success can be. That's very true.
Absolutely right.
Now, the next track we're going to play, Courtney, this one of my favorites of yours. And I was a little worried at first because I saw the title, Been Forgotten. And you haven't been forgotten by any means. I'm like, is this going to be a self-indulgent. And, oh man, Courtney's going through it. I hope not. And then I listened to it and I'm like, oh, this is fantastic.
Yeah, so
I was very impressed with this.
This is by far the most pop song I have, and most pop song that'll be on the record. I've had this song for years, and I've always felt it was one of my better written tunes. And this was the one this one's in top 40 right now, and it's at number 70. And it's pretty cool to see my name right next to, like, Jelly Roll or something. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
But that's an expensive game to get out there and try to play in the top 40 world. But this is the song I believe can break the most out of everything. And this is the song I think of it, the one that probably has the most likely chance to get in a soundtrack too. Now I want to talk about this real quick before we do it. Just, I know that you're not gonna play the music video because it's AI. You're not into AI, and that's cool. But I'm just gonna let people know that an AI video does exist, and if they want to go,
and it's an awesome video.
And then go to Courtney.
It's an awesome video.
Vivo, Courtney Gains Vivo, Been Forgotten. It's fun, it's cute, but I understand that there's a lot of people not into AI right now. But I had a few people get upset about it, and I was like, I'll tell you what, you give me $250,000, I will make that video for you.
Exactly.
This is the only way I can get this vision out. So
it's very true. And so many podcasts, it's such a trend right now on YouTube. Yeah. Everybody's, it's crazy. This is what I was alluding to, and I think Courtney picked up on that. Courtney picked up on that at the beginning of the show. Is YouTube changed, and this is one of the things they changed the rule about week to week.
Oh, wow.
It reminds me of the tariff deal. You know what I mean? I do not miss those days. Calling up somebody in Toronto and explaining the price of the cash that you're going to have to put out just suddenly went from to that.
Yes, everything was doubling.
YouTube, I kind of feel bad for a lot of these creators who they take their channel, the whole channel. Woke up today, my channel was gone, and I only had 1,500 episodes. These aren't easy to make, folks, and it's
work.
And there's no rule. They don't tell them ahead of time. Mm-hmm. It's very frustrating. And I learned this with my audio podcast. Every show, folks, I have backed up on external hard drive, 3 or 4 external hard drives.
Yeah, sure.
Just because this is work that we've done.
Make sure it's preserved and safe. I do the same thing with the music. I send it to my girlfriend. Keep it on your computer too, just in case. You got to keep your stuff. You just never know what's going to happen.
Absolutely. The only thing in our house that is kept on the same amount of hard drives are our wedding photos. I'm like, hey, $2,500 for those photos. So
have a backup.
Those aren't going anywhere,
right?
And that was the friend rate of the photographer.
Yeah, weddings. Yeah, that's a whole nother animal.
Oh, I'm telling you. And the funny thing is, we had been together 9 years. What it was is her mama wore us down. Italian mama. And you guys already own a house and you got a dog. You got to get married and you're living in sin over there. I'm like, maybe your daughter has a pentagram hanging in the backyard. I don't think us getting married. We're way beyond that point. She owns a crystal business.
Yeah, that's funny. That's awesome.
We got so many crystals in our house, Courtney. I feel like Superman in the Fortress of Solitude.
If you're ever in a pinch, you can sell a crystal, though, right? So that's good.
There you go.
Yeah, you've got.
Yeah, I don't think our house is haunted. We got all these crystals. No, I think
gold
got a force field.
Crystal gold there if you're in a pinch. Just sell the amethyst. You'll be all right.
Yeah, I don't know what she knows them all.
Right.
Just tell me today. She goes, would you move that selenite? I'm like, what the hell is a selenite? It sounds like something out of a car. Are you? It's not a solenoid, Jamie. A selenite.
Yeah.
Type of, I'm like, I don't know. Anyway, we're getting a far afield. Folks, here's and Courtney said, I didn't realize this was on YouTube it is up on YouTube, right?
Yeah, I have my own. I just started my own Vivo channel, which is a whole nightmare.
Nice.
It happened.
Folks,
So
we will
Vivo
have
channel. So it's Courtney Gains, Vivo, Been Forgotten. Do any of that, you'll find it.
And I want you guys to see because it's a cool video. It's
fun.
really nicely done, and it's fun. I will have the direct link to that in the comments below. So scroll your page down a sec and just click on that link. It'll be right there with the big, I'll put an arrow hand pointing to it, and then you can watch the video. So here it is, folks. Here it is.
once again, nobody is to blame. Ooh, she had to go. Why didn't I know? Oh, but she could not stay. After all, and she went away. Oh, I've been forgotten, and this house is no longer a home, no. Oh, I've been forgotten. Oh, once again, I'm on my own. Oh, she had to go. Why did I know? Oh, but she could not stay. After all that she went away, 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 oh yeah. Been forgotten, and these tears that keep on falling like rain. I've been forgotten. Oh, I've been forgotten. I said yeah, I've been forgotten. Oh yeah, I said yeah, I've been forgotten. Oh yeah, I've been forgotten.
And we're back, everybody. We're back. How about that? Very cool. Like I said, watch the cool video, and the link is right there. So just, like I said, or they're probably on their phone, Courtney. They have to
And they're on their phone.
maneuver
Get
their
it,
cell
finding
phone,
right.
and
And that's the world we live in now. Little TVs to take us wherever we go.
I'm such an old man. I yell at younger people I know, and I'm like, they're listening to music. You can't listen to music on your phone, man. Get you some headphones or something.
They don't understand the stereo system concept, and they're missing out. They're missing out because
You probably had one, and I did too, where you have, folks, we didn't just go out and get a one component stereo. No, we had, it looked like NASA or something.
Yeah.
We had a whole system.
But they don't appreciate the cranking it up component that you cannot do on your phone or your computer. You just can't crank it up. Music is meant to be played loud, a certain amount of loud, so it hits you. Even when you're on stage, you got to have your amps up a certain amount of loud so you're feeling it hit you. You know, that's
Yeah, you got to feel it in your bones.
but that's even getting crazy now. Bands are performing on stage now with no amps. It's crazy. They have these little earbuds in that they hear the mix, and
Like for a click track
there's
or
no
something?
PA sometimes, but not even necessarily. But all the sound is just coming out through the PA, and it's so weird. I've yet to play like that, but it's gonna happen if you get a playing across town and you fly across the country. You're not able to bring your equipment. They set these things up where you can do this now. And I know it's the first time it's going to happen. I'm going to feel like I'm in a bubble because you're not going to hear anything like boom. But technology continues to change everything, and now it's
and tastes change. My wife, I was listening the other day, and we're in the car. I'm like, "Is this?" Because we have this Sirius XM or whatever she's listening to. She likes pop, but she's a girl, and she's listening to whatever. And I'm like, this is from the radio? This is the weirdest mix. She goes, no, this is my playlist that I created. You're going from Korn to Bruno Mars. I'm getting whiplash listening to this.
Yeah,
And
people love to have their own playlists now, for sure. They have control. I like
absolutely.
listening to the radio still. I like being pleasantly surprised what's coming next, or if I don't like it, flipping to another station. But that's old school. That's old school. Everybody now, they want their own playlist, or they want those specialty XM things. There's no commercials. And if you're willing to pay for the subscription, hey, you get that freedom. I get it.
Absolutely.
I'm just old school.
My most embarrassing thing is my dog, Courtney. You know me. I've lived in nightclubs for 30 years. I know all these cool DJs, and I've been to these big Vegas clubs and stuff. And my dog's favorite DJ, and I think it's the tone of her voice, is Delilah in the evening. The love songs in the evening.
Oh, that's funny.
If I want to calm the dog down, I just put her on, and the dog just sits at attention looking at the TV. And I'm like,
Oh,
so
wow.
embarrassing. You should be a little cooler than this, Mei-Ling. Come on.
Hey, like
Jeez.
everybody else, she just likes what she likes.
Absolutely.
You'll have to play
Absolutely.
Been Forgotten for her and see how it goes over. She might like it. That's
Oh,
the mellow
she'll
song out
love
of the
it.
bunch, that's for sure.
Either that or I'll play
Fear the
Fear the Boogie, and she'll get after the cats.
Then
You
she
know
won't
what
be
I mean?
able to sleep. After you do that, she won't be able to sleep.
Yeah, it's true. It's very true. Courtney, you're always so much fun to talk to. I always have such a good time. Let's not do years and years, and I don't think we will because you're working so much and putting stuff out and everything.
Well, yeah, maybe we'll
Well,
talk
definitely.
again after the record drops. Maybe we'll talk again then.
Yeah, absolutely.
Too far off.
Absolutely. I can't wait to hear it. It's amazing. Folks, we have all the links, all the Courtney Gains links, and you really want to add, they're all great, but I'm a big fan of the Courtney Gains group over on Facebook.
Yeah, if you
Facebook.
want to find out what gigs we're doing in town or out of town, that's where you're gonna find them. So yeah, go to the Courtney Gaines group fan page, or you can go to the Instagram too. But the best one I think to keep track is the Facebook page.
Yeah, you do the Instagram. I gotta say, we always joke, oh, we're old school guy. But you do this social media pretty well.
Well,
I'm
I've just
jealous.
gotten to the point now where it's kind of ridiculous. I've been begrudgingly getting to the point, but mainly I already had the Courtney Gaines page, but I was like, man, I gotta have a band page. So it just was inevitable, and here we are now, and 2 Instagrams and 2 Facebooks. It's kind of ridiculous. I'm like, how did I get here?
You got to do it. You got to do it. And
Kind of got to do it, yeah.
I'm, it was funny. This happened, I don't know, a couple years ago. I finally got an X account or Twitter as a whatever you call it.
Yeah.
And so I'm putting it, and I learned about hashtags. This is how old I am.
Yeah.
My wife, Jamie, you can't hashtag every word in this. Why are you hashtagging the? I'm like, you said to hashtag the important words, and everything I'm saying is important in this particular post.
Yeah, I'm
Just give
pretty
them to
bad.
me, and I'll do it. Just give them to me.
Exactly. My girlfriend's always coming to when you spelled that word wrong. I'm like, what am I back in school?
Oh, absolutely.
I do the best I can. I'm not perfect, but I just keep putting my stuff out there. That's all I can do.
That's all you can do. That's all you can do. Thank you so much for taking the time and everything. I really appreciate it. And we're going to have this will be posted first of the week, I think
Yeah.
Monday or something like that.
Or whatever, and I'll post it on my socials for you.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Folks, thank you for listening and watching, and we will see you. My old man advice, be cool, be patient with people. If the waitress takes an extra 30 seconds to get your cup of coffee to your table, you ain't going to die, I promise. No one's ever died from lack of coffee. Maybe, depends on who you're talking to. If they haven't had coffee, that's a whole other show. Anyway, we'll talk to you later, folks. Have a good one. Thank you, Courtney. Courtney Gains, everybody. How cool is that? Class in the joint up.
This has been pop art painter Jamie Roxx's Pop Rocks Radio Talk Show. It has been executive produced by Jamie Roxx, recorded at his studio in Deerfield Beach in South Florida. All rights reserved by Pop Rocks Limited. Hannah Oli, Pop Rocks Radio. Estás escuchando Jamie Roxx de Pop Rocks Radio. Manténganse al tanto.
Hej, det här är Hicks från Sverige och ni lyssnar till Pop Rocks Radio med Jamie Roxx.